late May is when we're going to be eating fresh strawberries from right here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, and we talk about sustainability. That's one of my specialties, I think. Being an urban farmer and a chef, I really try to make everything sustainable. So I use local ingredients all the time. And a lot of chefs talk about sustainability and using local ingredients. So I prefer to use my own strawberries, right? I mean,
Perfect.
In about what, I think 90 days is when we're going to have a bumper crop coming out of these little guys. And we've got about a 12 maybe by 30-foot area that is dedicated to just strawberries. And so they just come up and, like I said, they spread like wildfire. So we put them in these little pots and we share the love, so to speak, to really show people what fresh strawberries can be.
So you've alluded to this, but how do you feel about big trucks hauling strawberries from California or Florida for us to, fix our Jones?
Yeah, one of the things that we talk about in sustainability is petroleum-free food.
Okay.
It's really hard to do, actually, in this day and age. But before 1946, the supermarkets didn't exist. Did anybody know that little factoid? Supermarkets have only been around since 1946.
Wow.
We'd have to ask Alice about that.
So where did... so anyway...
Kidding.
So anyway, but yeah, the idea is, where was all the food back then?
Yeah.
It was in people's homes. So this is a strawberry puree from my freezer, which is another thing. I'm freezing something, so I'm using energy to do that, but you can can it. You preserve it that way. So, but the freezer's a nice place to keep it. So I wanted to show you guys a couple recipes today as well. So the two recipes I'm going to do, one is strawberry sorbet. So I pulse this in the blender so it'll be a little smooth. I like a little bit of chunkiness to it. What we're going to do is dissolve, basically I've got 2 cups. Right, so the proportion is, if you're making a nice smooth sorbet, you want to add about a 1/4 cup of sugar per cup of puree, a fruit puree. So we're going to add that in. We're going to add just a 1/2 cup of sugar, right? Because we've got 2 cups of the puree, and then I'm going to just melt that down. So I'm going to basically get it all combined by heating it up a little bit, and that's going to take a minute. But you can see that it dissolves pretty quickly, and I got the pan a little bit warm already. And once it's dissolved, we'll turn up the heat a little bit. So you see how the sugar just kind of blends in there pretty quickly, especially if it's warm.
Now, I have tried these fresh strawberries, picking them in one of the local farms.
Yeah.
And the taste is honestly night and day.
Oh my gosh,
from the ones you get in the store.
Yeah,
It's sweeter, it's juicier. When you cut into a grocery store strawberry, especially this time of year, it's like pure white when you cut into it.
And that is...
And when you cut into one of these, it's perfectly pink and juicy and beautiful. So just kind of describe, I try to do my best describing it, but is there any way that you can describe the difference?
Thank you so much, Kayla, for bringing that up, because really that is one of the things that a chef really appreciates as well, is you've got the produce growing right there. Nothing is better, nothing is fresher, and nothing tastes better than fruit that is picked the day it is ripe. Not 2 weeks before it's ripe, right? Not 3 weeks before it's ripe. The day it is ripe, it tastes phenomenal, and it sings to you. My whole story, I started farming because of the flavor of a single tomato. It just blew my mind, and the strawberry will do the same thing. So this is nice and dissolved now, and I like to add actually just a little bit of citric acid, because it will give, you can use lemon juice too, but I like to add like a 1/2 teaspoon of citric acid, and you can find that at a lot of different places if you're looking for it. Certainly an internet search will help you find it. Dissolve that in there.
I'm going to make a shameless plug for you, Jason, because if you have the dining experience at the Urban Awareness Gardens, you will be harvesting the fruits and the vegetables that you eat that night yourself in the garden with Jason. And that, you talk about fresh. The asparagus was what we had the night we ate there. It was, it was so good.
And I took you out there.
Yeah.
And there we had it. So you can literally pour this. This is your sorbet mix, and I've got my ice cream maker over here, but I actually, through the magic of television, have some for you to taste if we've got time for that. Do we have time for that, guys?
We better. I'm going to make time.
All right, cool. So this goes right in here, and then I put my little machine together. But before that, I want to bring this stuff for you, because I sneaked it into the freezer for us.
How cute.
There you go.
Oh, man.
It's so petite.
There you go, George. You guys can try that.
All right.
Make sure my pan's not scalding over here.
Oh, wow.
Not bad, right?
Not bad. That's the best I've ever had.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
very
much.
serious.
You didn't have to say that on
No,
television of all places.
The flavor in this.
Right. It's a simple recipe. And, you know, some people like to use honey, too. I like to use honey as well as a substitute for, this is actually beet sugar from Minnesota. Can you believe that?
Fantastic.
Anyway,
well, as we munch on our sorbet, we throw it over to Randy Ollis. Randy, you have got an amazing story today.